It is the most rewarding and admirable IT certification in the networking industry, hands down. Having this certification guarantees job security, a senior level position, the best salary, unmatched value to your organization, and much more. Yet, less than 1% of professionals have this certification in the entire world. If you haven't figured it out already, we're talking about Cisco's CCIE certification. About a month ago, I got the opportunity to attend Cisco Live in Las Vegas. And while I was there, I got to meet up with David, who's in the process of preparing for this elite certification. So without any further ado, let's roll to the interview.
Thank you for taking the time to, kind of talk about your journey into the field. Do you mind kind of giving everyone a bit of a background, like how you got started in the field, why you're in the field, and your goals and ambitions?
Yeah. Well, my very first dream was to be a video game programmer and design video games, and I was all about it. And my parents were like, go into IT first. Just get the very basic, help desk, troubleshooting, stuff like that, and then see if you want to, pursue that dream of, working on video games and stuff like that, because it looks cool, but it's very hard, at least for me. So I got my Security Plus, started working as a contractor for the DoD for about a year. And while I was working there, one of my coworkers, he was going for his CCNA, and he's like, you should do it too. Nice. So I bought a book and did it, because I was so new to the industry. I didn't know what was what certs could apply for or anything. Studied for my CCNA. About 6 months later, got my CCNA. Nice. Got promoted to a networking role within that organization. Then I ended up getting a new job for the DoD as a civilian instead of a contractor. Did cyber security for about 3 years there. Kind of didn't really use my CCNA, but kept it up to date because I knew I kind of wanted to do more networking. Applied for a networking job, got a networking job there, same organization. Did that for a few years, then that was in Missouri, and then moved to Tennessee for another networking job, a little bump up.
Right.
Started having a little bit more permissions than from before. Wasn't getting as much out of it as I wanted. Still very basic, commands, and I was trying to, break that barrier of getting higher. I had a CCNP at the time, so I was trying to, do more than what I was. So I eventually looked for, another new job, networking within the DoD, and now I'm out at San Antonio, Texas. I've been there about 6 months, and it's a NOC position, so it's a way higher level, and I'm doing so many more things, creating stuff, and eventually I'd like to get my CCIE. It's not required for the job, it's just a personal goal.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. You have it kind of posted all over your socials that you're going to be CCIE by 2024 next year, and you're planning on taking your certification here at Cisco Live, correct?
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
We'll see if it works out like that.
So what drove you to get a CCIE? Because, I think I'm sure a lot of people in the field have heard the term CCIE and know what it is, but really, why do you want it?
For me, it's more personal. Like I said, I don't need it for my job. It's I don't know. It's a challenge, and it's a very to me it's a prestigious challenge. Because not very many people have it. I feel it's looked upon with integrity and respect, and I like I like the way that sounds. Nice. And eventually, I would like to transition to I get it early on in my career, so I can keep renewing it with my job, and I have greater opportunities. And then eventually I'd like to create content, towards the CCIE level material, because I feel that there's there's boot camps you can go to. I'll be going to one of them probably.
Right.
There's boot camp stuff you can go to, but I feel there's not a lot of information for CCIEs, and it's because so few people get it. I feel like the content is just not there.
The barrier to entry is really high, it feels like.
Right.
Your average Joe out there. So
yeah. So I want to be able to create the content to make it easier for people to achieve the CCIE in broader terms, basically. Yeah. So to break that barrier, because once you get that first one, you can start knocking those other ones.
Exactly. Yeah. Are you planning on stopping at one, or are you planning on trying to get them all?
No, I wouldn't say all.
You're not going to go the Pokemon style, got to catch them all.
I will say that there are topics that I don't care about. Okay. Wireless, data center, and a couple of the other ones. I may get those, but that does not interest me. So I feel like they would be 10 times harder. Like, this interests me right now.
Right, exactly.
But if it doesn't interest me, I feel like it's going to be just that much of a challenge.
Understandable. And so I'm kind of curious, what are you doing to study for your CCIE? Because you know, again, like we just were saying, there's not a lot of material necessarily out there. There's a few platforms that offer training for it, but what are you using?
Definitely reviewing my foundations with CCNA and CCNP, because you know, just because you work, you know, you have your CCNA or CCNP certification doesn't mean you use all the technologies every day, all the time. So
absolutely,
you will forget stuff.
Yes.
So I'm definitely reviewing a whole lot of CCNA and CCNP material. Working my way through that. Definitely got a couple of IP routing books that are very high level, you know, packet information and stuff like that for the protocols. Labbing, yes. Creating your own, finding other people's.
100%, and I think that can be easily said for every level of the CCNA exams, or Cisco exams, whether CCNA, CCNP, or CCIE. I think labbing is. So, you know, everyone says you need to do it, but I don't think you can do enough of it.
It's very under talked about.
It's under talked about, yes, absolutely. I think Dwan Lightfoot said it the best, you know, lab every day, you know. You have to constantly be labbing and practicing the things you're learning to actually retain the material. So,
absolutely.
what is your favorite, like, physical lab, virtual lab? Because I know there's a big debate what you need to do, especially when you start moving to the CCIE level as well.
So that was an interesting challenge. I kind of like was a one-track mind getting my CCNA and CCNP, so I was just focused on networking. I know nothing about servers. I know very little about virtualization, different platforms, ESXi, like don't know what it stands for or anything. But I bought a server. I Googled some things. I YouTubed some things. I built a server, very basic. You know, there's no special thing about it. But I'd never touched a server before, so I was, you know, don't let that stop you from, you know, trying to get a CCIE and stuff like that. So I built my own virtual lab at my house, so I was able to use the Cisco modeling labs. Cool. So I've been using that a lot more. I really like it. I've dabbled with the EVNG and the other one. Can't remember the name of it, but
Packet Tracer.
Not Packet Tracer, but there's another virtual one.
GNS.
GNS3. Thank you.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've dealt with them. I feel just Cisco Modeling Labs is just a complete package where it's already put together for you, and I feel like that's the easiest solution for me who doesn't do servers.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to kind of step back a little bit and talk about the CCNA. A lot of people, that's kind of like their entry-level certification into the field. What advice do you have for people that are like wanting to go get that certification? And, you know, do you have any advice for like study tips and things like that?
Yes. The big one is don't use ChatGPT to get your answers and questions. Get it from verified sources. I've come across a lot of, hey, this protocol says this, but ChatGPT says that. I mean, I know it's a great upcoming thing. Do not, for your very first foundational certification, use an AI technology. Dude, it's great for many things. It's not good for learning, you know, stuff like that. Make sure you understand it.
It is still coded by humans. You know, it makes tons of errors. You know, absolutely. And just I feel like the CCNA, there's tons of information out there available for it. It can be a bit overwhelming to, you know, sometimes, you know, to figure out, okay, what information is good, what should you avoid. Is there a way you kind of, you know, viewed that and could figure out, okay, this is a good resource other than, you know, from the horse's mouth, Cisco. You know, what else, you know, can people do to figure out how to, you know, study for these certifications?
Yeah, I personally recommend, and I know many others do too, probably 2 to 3 sources of information or ways about getting your material. So whether it be books, whether it be videos, whether it be YouTube channels, stuff like that. I would say at least 2 sources, and then whenever you start to struggle on maybe a specific topic, maybe find like a specific book or a specific channel that is dedicated to just that, to try to hone in on that technology. I'll tell you right now, MPLS, I've spent over 100 hours on MPLS because I couldn't get it, and there's some parts I struggle with it for the CCIE level.
I understand, and you know,
just one book doesn't do all the information.
Exactly. I found that to be true with many different certifications I've studied for, where like I would use just a sole learning platform to study for that certification. I feel all like, okay, I know everything, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to go check out this other learning platform, and they're teaching things like, what? Like, you know, is that? And yeah, absolutely.
Because each instructor will put emphasis on maybe one topic where the other instructor puts emphasis on another topic, but you get a more well-rounded perspective if you do more than one.
Absolutely. No, I definitely try to find multiple sources, whether it's YouTube, books. I typically pair up like an e-learning platform with like an official textbook from like Cisco Press or something like that as well. So So,
definitely.
What other advices and information do you have for people that are looking to kind of advance their career in the networking world?
To advance in the networking world, I mean, the CCNA is a pretty good start in my opinion. It's good for learners of Net Plus because it has a lot of Net Plus information as well. So I feel CCNA is just well-rounded enough to get you the entry level that you want. And then once you get in there, then you can decide, hey, this is what I really like, I'm going to keep pursuing it, or maybe I like more wireless more, but you can at least diverge from that track, but you already have that foundation of, you know, the subnetting and all the different basic protocols, you know, OSPF and stuff like that, so, you know, trunks and layer 2 stuff, but you have that foundation, there's so many branches you can take, it's good for lots of things, not just for straight up line networking.
Absolutely. So after going back to, you know, you're studying for your CCIE, after you get that first CCIE, what's your next goal? Are you going to just dive right on into the next one? Or are you going to try to work on some content creation?
I'm not sure. First goal is to get a tattoo of the CCIE number. That might be my first thing I do. I mean, I'll be in Vegas doing it, so you know, it's probably the place I'm going to do it. No, I think I will continue honing in my CCIE enterprise skills because, like I said, I do want to create content. I do believe the next CCIE, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, would be the service provider one because it's very close aligned to the enterprise infrastructure.
Makes sense.
Yeah, more so than the other ones. So,
right.
But I think I would really like to dive deep into, you know, things I didn't quite understand, but I did just enough to pass the test, kind of thing. Because pass the test, but that doesn't mean you fully understand.
Absolutely.
You know, the thing. But that's what I like to do, so I can start creating content and start putting stuff out there. You know, maybe streaming some of my labs every now and then for people to see and like chime in on it and get a group and community going. So
absolutely,
we'll see.
Absolutely. If people want to find you and connect more with you, where can they find you?
Mostly on Twitter, as far as like my tech profile goes. Awesome. So just Kangaroos.
Kangaroos.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll make sure and link that up in the video description.
Awesome.
Any final advice you have for anyone?
If you're struggling or if you have any kind of doubt or whatever, just go for it. I mean, you know, if you're at Cisco Live especially, just take the free exam that they give you just to see where you're at. I'm unsure of a lot of things in my life, but I do it just to see. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out. I'm going to tell you that right now. It will not work out 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
But go for it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, keep learning.